Okay. All right, Leo, how about you kick us off?
Okay, I'm going to do one poem, a little one, and pass it on and do another one a little later. This one's called Eight Limbed Things. I used it to enter into an Emily Dickinson competition. So here's my entry. Eight limbed things, arachnid, so serious, all eight eyes, yet myriad of limbs, weaving top to bottom and then up again. An animate yo-yo, my Miss Busy. Soon her cotton ball of progeny will popcorn with babies, all in need of feeding.
Very good.
Very nice, thank you.
Next, I pass the pipe on to Kim.
Okay, let me find this poem that I want to read. So maybe Elaine goes first while I...
Okay, I got a joke. I got a joke. And I love spiders, so I loved your poem, Leo. Thank you. All right. A man and a woman who had never met before and who were married to other people found themselves assigned to the same sleeping room on a transcontinental train. Though initially embarrassed and uneasy over sharing a room, they were both very tired and fell asleep quickly, he in the upper berth and she in the lower. About 3 a.m., the man leaned down and gently woke the woman, saying, "Ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you, but would you be willing to reach into the cupboard and get me a second blanket? I'm awfully cold." And the woman says, "I have a better idea. Just for tonight, let's pretend that we're married." And the man exclaimed, "Wow, that's a great idea." "Good," she replied. "Go get your own friggin' blanket."
Oh, my ex-wife would have loved that.
I have to grab my phone. Hang on. Where did I put it? Talk amongst yourselves. Here it is. Okay. I know this poem isn't here. It is under okay. Here, this is the one I want to read. And this is because in honor of the convergence of planets on the solstice that's happening. Jupiter and, if I was paying attention, I know, but I think it's Saturn. Will be neighbors in the sky and look extremely bright. And this poem came through my mail the other day, and of course I've been thinking of it for a while. And it is John Keats, Bright Star. Bright star, let me start again. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendor hung aloft the night and watching, with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient, sleepless eremite. The moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. No, yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft fall and swell, awake forever in a sweet unrest, still to hear her tender taken breath, and so live ever, or else swoon to death.
Oh,
I know, highly romantic.
yes.
As Keats
Wonderful poem.
was.
Yes,
So
snuggling
good.
on a cold winter night.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So,
All right.
Leo, I think it's back to you.
Up to you.
Okie dokie. It's called I Woke to Hear Geese Calling. I woke to hear geese calling. White sheets a shroud I rip off and stand, cat tail a feather at my ankles. She is saying, feed me first and then your shower. but it's my house, so I go out and stand in my backyard naked, watching geese like a flock of eyebrows and loose lines traced along the gray cloud bottoms. Sun and egg yolk poached on the horizon, and it's my house, and it holds me like an anchor. Should I let go and go, letting go as I go, with the geese out to the dawn at the horizon? Should I, an old man, live like a young man? Should I buy a travel trailer stocked with oatmeal and D-cell batteries? Should I resolve myself to die out there somewhere? I stand, cattail a feather at my ankles. She is saying, no, no, no. I woke to hear geese calling, and in the icy air, stand naked in my garden and watch geese flap and bawl, all going God knows where.
That's
Very nice.
beautiful. Very nice, Leo.
Your turn.
Who are you pointing at? So this is my each Christmas. So I think I've been participating in Poetry Night now for 3 years, maybe. Yeah, 3 years.
Longer, I would guess.
Longer, think, yeah. I don't know. You know, that's an interesting phenomenon around this pandemic. The word is called acedia, A-C-E-D-I-A, and it describes to a T the condition that we find ourselves where you can't tell for sure what day it is, what time it is, how much time has passed. It's been so surreal.
Yeah. Very good. Is it my turn now?
Yep.
Okay. So I actually had an Emily Dickinson poem picked out too,
Okay.
which again came to my mailbox this week, and it was just lovely. It is number 466. I dwell in possibility. I dwell in possibility, a fairer house than prose, more numerous of windows, superior for doors, of chambers as the cedars, impregnable of eye, and for an everlasting roof the gambrels of the sky. Of visitors the fairest, for occupation this, the spreading wide my narrow hands to gather paradise.
Very nice.
Wow.
Emily Dickinson's birthday was 190 years ago on last Friday.
Wow.
So yeah. Happy birthday, Emily Dickinson.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, girl.
A fellow Sagittarian. So
All right, is it me again?
I think it's you again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read this one poem. And again, Kim, I want to thank you so much for introducing me to the poetry organization, because the poems that I get every day, I love getting to read them every day.
Birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of them. I don't remember what date, but I'd saved it in my email because I knew I wanted to share it at Poetry Night. So it's perhaps not as lofty and uplifting, and it really moved me. The author, poet, is Michael Kleber Diggs, hyphenated. America is loving me to death. America is loving me to death slowly. And I mainly try to be, I'm going to try it again. America is loving me to death slowly. And I mainly try not to be disappeared here, knowing she won't pledge even tolerance in return. Dear God, I can't offer allegiance. Right now, 400 years ago, far into the future, it's difficult to ignore or forgive how despised I am and have been in the centuries I've been here. Despised in the design of the flag and in the fealty it demands, lest I be made an example of. In America, there's one winning story, no adaptations. The story imagines a noble grand progress where we're all united, like truths are as self-evident as the Declaration states, or like they would be if not for detractors like me, the ranks of vagabonds existing to point out what's rotten in America, insisting her games come at a cost, reminding her who pays, and negating wild notions of exceptionalism, adding ugly facts to God's favorite nation mythology. Look, victors get spoils. I know the memories of the vanquished fade away. I hear the enduring republic, erect and proud, asking through ravenous teeth, who do you riot for? Tamir, Sandra, Medgar, George, Brianna, Elijah, Philandro, Eric? Which one? Like it can't be all of them. Like it can't be the entirety of it. Destroyed bodies, dismantled homes, so demolition stands, even as my fidelity falls, as it must. She erases my reason, too, allows one answer to her only loyalty test. Yes or no? Michael, do you love this nation? Then hates me for saying I can't, for not burying myself under her fables, where we're one indivisible, free, just, under God, her God.
Mm.
It made me
That sounds
cry.
about right for what we're going
Yeah.
through.
And yet it brought a place of hope that, I mean, I'm still in a country that allows me to share that I'm unhappy with my country.
Yeah, exactly. And now we get to be serenaded by my cuckoo clock, which I forgot to turn off.
No problem.
It's going to play a little song. in a
Okay,
moment,
good.
but only during waking hours, fortunately. It's very polite.
It's
Are
lovely.
little people moving around and kissing and going back inside again and stuff like that?
No, it just has a little cuckoo, but I always wish that it had more than that. Okay, well, here's a poem that I just remembered I had in my phone. This is so impromptu. And I've read it before, but it's been many long times. And it's by a poet, a Polish poet, I think, whose name is Wisława Szymborska. And I probably don't pronounce that exactly right, but anyway, it's called Water. This translation is by somebody named Joanna Churchiak, maybe. Anyway, the land of Slavic names. Water. A raindrop fell on my hand, crafted from the Ganges and the Nile, from the ascended frost of a seal's whiskers, from the water in broken pots in the city of Is and Tyre. On my index finger, the Caspian Sea isn't landlocked, and the Pacific flows meekly into the Rudava, the one that flew in a cloud over Paris in 1764 on the 7th of May at 3 in the morning. There are not enough lips to pronounce your transient names, O water. I would have to say them in every language, pronouncing all the vowels at once. At the same time, keeping silent for the sake of a lake that waited in vain for a name and is no longer on earth as it is in the heavens, whose stars are no longer reflected in it. Someone was drowning, someone dying called out for you. That was long ago and yesterday. You extinguished houses, you carried them off like trees, forests like cities. You were in baptismal fonts and in the bathtubs of courtesans, in kisses, in shrouds, eating away at stones, fueling rainbows, in the sweat and the dew of pyramids and lilacs. How light all this is in the raindrop. How delicately the world touches me. Whenever, wherever, whatever has happened, it is written on the water of Babel.
That's a sweet one.
Yeah,
Good.
I really like that one. She won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1996.
Oh,
Cool.
This woman did. So
96. I'm going to have to look her up.
yeah, it's Szymborska.
I'll take your word for it. 96 is the way I'm going to find it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. really, really, all of her poems are fantastic, but that one is particularly lovely, I think.
Do I go again?
Sure.
Yeah, I found the 3 love letters, and I'm sort of fond of this. The first one is called "The End of the World is Always With Us." What is it? Is it a toddler on daddy's lap allowed to sip his coffee? Is it the silver thread of a bomber's curve across the sky? Is it a girl touching her lover's nose as he begins to snore? It is an old man putting a pill on his tongue when his chest hurts. It is all these things and all things small and infinite.
That's sweet.
Okay, and it's your turn.
Well, I really don't have anything different or more to add. I do have some of my groaner one-liners, which is usually what I open my montage with, my groaner one-liners, but I'll do a few of those, and then that's all that I have to share, except that today in Oregon was another milestone, and we broke the record for deaths from COVID. And 29 counties are on the extreme risk level, so please take very great care of yourselves. All right, my one-liners. Age 60 might be the new 40, and 9 p.m. is the new midnight. When one door closes and another door opens, you're probably in jail. I had my patience tested. I'm negative.
Oh.
When you ask me what I'm doing today and I say nothing, it does not mean that I'm free. It means that I'm doing nothing. And don't bother walking a mile in my shoes. That would be boring. Spend 30 seconds in my head. That will freak you right out. Okay, so those are those. And that's it for me for tonight.
Very lovely.
Well, it's your turn.
Yeah, your turn, Van.
You're just in time for your turn.
Ah, well, let's see. I don't have anything here at hand.
Oh, because we've been going for a little while. Were you waiting long in the waiting room?
No.
Okay, good. I was afraid I'd missed you being there, but for so long it was just the 3 of us.
Guess we could tell all our poems again.
That
yeah, I was
and
in Calapooya earlier talking to Hal and Betsy, but they said they might do it. But well, I have a book of poetry I just bought at Calapooya Books.
All right. Bust it open.
Can you read it? It's all backwards on my screen.
Elephant Rocks.
Elephant Rocks, Kay Ryan.
All right. They're interesting. Different. Imaginary Eskimos. Who knows if Eskimos choose to go with flows or just go, regretting motion, missing a fixed position vis-a-vis the ocean. It is common to suppose that anyone whom one is not is predisposed to like her lot, that when she drills down through the ice to fish and sees the black and restless drift and works against the cold occlusion which always threatens, it is easier for that sort of person.
Do you know the author?
No, I'd never heard of her. Hot. If something gets caught like a bone in the throat, it isn't right. We know this with fish. It isn't impolite to cough. our life is at risk. But there are so many wrong thoughts we refuse to release, massaging our own throats like pate geese. Huh.
So I do have a song to share if Charles, I'll wait though until Charles is done. I figured out a way to do it.
I'll do it. I'll read another one here. If the moon happened once. If the moon happened once, it wouldn't matter much, would it? One evening's ticket punched with a round or a crescent. You could like it or not like it as you chose. It couldn't alter every time it rose. It couldn't do those things with scarves it does.
Ah,
That's a lovely
yeah.
book. Yeah. Well, we did good for just the four of us, and Charles, glad that it's nice to see you. Glad that you were here. And unless anybody has anything else that they want to add to it, we've been here for an hour.